Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Saturday ready to do some feedback. It's been a while. We haven't done a feedback show in like 15 days or so. So we'll see how much we got here. We're doing it a little earlier than normal, so that gives us plenty of time to respond to what you had to say to what we had to say. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair,
and the unofficial sport
bullet ball.
And bullet ball, extreme. And of course, you know, we always like to start with the people that took time out to give us money, because there's lots of ways to be on this, featured on this show. You can vote in the polls, you can leave comments on the website, Spotify, YouTube. You can email us, you can leave voicemails. But some people, they're like, I don't really want my voice heard as much as I would just like to give you guys some money.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, every little bit counts. Okay,
trust it does.
It's hard out here for a pimp, so we glad. I just had to pay for a bunch of stuff for our website because I have to update it, and I don't have the technical expertise to update all the stuff. And one of the main thing that I use to track our premium people that do the show, they apparently just stopped supporting it. Like when I went to the website, it takes you, I'm not joking, it takes you to like a foot OnlyFans. It used to be Magic members, the app, and now it's like, do you want to look at the members of these toes?
Oh damn! Well, we gotta do something.
And it's making our website security out of things, so I have to pay to have that done. That's a cost you guys don't see. It's behind the scenes. When the website went down, that's because they were working on it, and that's when they figured out, oh no, this one thing is messing everything up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I even move without this? Because I can't have a website that doesn't have our premium paywall stuff on it, or else we literally will not be able to make money. Right. So, you know, and it costs money. It's a couple $100 to look at this, and then a couple $100 to update this, and then you got to buy this new thing. Literally, you guys donating is part of what makes that equation for us to be able to just literally exist. Like, not true. Even. We're not getting rich off of this. You don't look up and be like, damn, Rod and Karen just pulled up in the Beamer. Like
you at your house is an unexpected expense. Damn, yeah. I expect the furnace to go down in the middle of winter.
Right. So we want to shout out y'all that put in on this.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day.
That's right. New payments. Hey, gents and ladies. Chris from Hawaii, thank you for the recurring donation. Tabitha M. April G. Corey, a.k.a. The Tickler. Alexis H. Marlon B. Yes, Marlon B. Wanga from Down Under. Tiffany B. Alfonso M. Palmetto Stone Magic. YR Design. David C. We got James C. The C's is in here. Jasmine J. Kyle K. Bambi. Dr. Professor Bambi.
Hey, baby.
Jason F. Kimberly, aka the Falcons Diva. Ken M. Derek L. W. Zach from the Living Corporate Podcast. Lawrence C. and Christoph R. That's everybody. Thank you so much for helping us keep our website up to date. Will there be a commercial break? Let's find out. No. The answer is no. Y'all barely made it. One new review, and we took 2 weeks off.
One is all it takes.
One new review is keeping y'all. Boy, y'all cut it close. We haven't had a show since the 4th. It's the 18th. One new review by Lovely LV, who says, what? Yep, fire. 5 stars. Listen, and your ears and what's between them will sit up and pay more than attention. They will pay it forward in ways that will surprise everyone. Now sit down, hold on, and enjoy this eargasm. Oh, yes. Wow. Wow, that got freaky at the end. Enjoy this eargasm.
Enjoy.
What's the safe word?
I don't know.
Sugar grits. We always stop at sugar grits. No one wants that.
Oh no.
All right, let's get into the comments on the website. 3167 conversation versus conversion. We had 4 comments. Appia says, I also in my life had a perfect candidate to vote for, and it's okay. There are so many issues and so many people. It's impossible. Or I guess have never had a perfect candidate, right? It's impossible to give me everything I want. I didn't vote for our current chancellor. I'm still satisfied that he is sane and not a Nazi. How many conversations can there be now? What can be said that would move Trump fans that haven't heard and seen before?
Nothing.
Yeah, I was listening to a clip with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was talking about how like the solution is to educate these people. And I mean, that sounds cool, but it ain't gonna happen anytime soon, because what do you do when people are anti-intellectual, refuse to be educated? And also there's like a level of acceptance that needs to be understood, that not everybody is just miseducated or misunderstood or what. Some people just really
and they understand what they're doing,
see you as their enemy. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do to convince them of your humanity or your shared like struggle. They don't care, they don't want to hear it, and they are going to be destructive. And that's why I feel like going to vote is a fight every time. It's not we just need to get along with our fellow person. When the fellow person's laws are things like, I want to enslave you, I can't just go, well, that person's not educated. I have to accept that person is trying to be an obstacle to my freedom, and that needs to be understood, or else that can't really be a fight.
And a lot of times I realize there's a disconnect. Just because something is law doesn't make it morally right. And, a lot of people say stupid shit like, well, just follow the law. Well, bitch, slavery was a law. People were just following the law. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things on the books that were anti-me, but it was just the law. So you just followed the law, even though it impacted other people. So there are times where a law is not just a law. Just because it's written on the books and just because it can't be enforced don't make it right.
Appia says, we are absolutely manipulated by the algorithm, but also we create our online reality by what we feed or what we click on. There is so much outrage, anger, and fear because it works and creates most engagement. We all need to disengage from the most sensational, not important stuff to not feed it. Some things you can't escape. The algorithm will always give me menopause, some way to improve my body, and how to talk to my man just because of my gender and age. Yeah, the only way you can escape that is not being on there.
Yep.
Sean says, I haven't been paying much attention to Ezra. I noticed his presence among the disaster-baiting punditocracy, pushing for Biden to lead the race and for a second primary. Then he started his book tour for the Abundance Agenda, apparently funded by Koch and Thiel. Thiel is the one who promoted Vance, which repacks failed Reagan-era economic theology as the obvious solution. And now his promotion of a propagandist as a defender of the First Amendment is looking more and more like Ezra is in the death spirals towards the right. Klein approved, yet failed to acknowledge that Coates was better than Ezra. I think that was like a pun at the end, but I don't know much about that white music, but I think that's a band name. But there was something you said. Oh, I didn't know about this Koch and Thiel funding him. Is that a real thing? Like,
I don't know.
Can you provide a link to that next time? Because I know you listen to it and you always got you always had the receipts. But yeah, I did not know that had anything to do with Ezra Klein. But that would be, pretty bad people to be in bed with.
For everything you quote unquote claim you stand for.
Yeah, so I don't know so anyway, if you got a link to that, let me know. Unless it's just like a joke and I just missed the joke, but that's crazy if that's true. EVE says some of these AI videos are getting harder to discern, but there's always a tell because for some reason AI can't get hands right and lips never fully sync up with the words.
No, they do not.
So that's the thing though. The lips I agree with, but the hands, they're getting better at the hands. I've seen some where I'm like, I couldn't have told by the hands. They also can manipulate shit to do like a certain angle so it doesn't show the hands and stuff. Like it can get better. But I think
it's actually getting better.
I think the biggest liability we have right now is more of our confirmation bias. If we want to believe something, we'll look right past them hands.
Yes.
There'll be 12 digits on each figure. But if we already are in the mind to be like, yes, you'll click on that thing. It'll be like, here's a video of Donald Trump saying the N-word. And you're just like, he would do that. And he can have 4 ears on each side of his face, and we'd be like, that's him. I don't know when he grew them ears, but that's him. On YouTube, V. Neal says Simpsons episode is so accurate. Dark Ninja says, good show, thanks for posting. The girl on the other side of the road says, I love how these are no longer feedback episodes. They're just regulars now. And the way politics till we get mad is taking over the show. Justice for Karen's Tammy, are you okay? At 1:20:40, impeccable comedic timing. I heard it when she said it, and I did laugh, but, you know, I thought it was very funny. I didn't have much to, you know, sometimes I have to keep the show going, but it was very funny.
Yay!
Jim Cat says, Cassie in Vegas here. I 100% agree that so many white people are not about learning. Whatever they think or feel is correct, period. It's another form of privilege. Ezra couldn't learn to listen to Ta-Nehisi and learn something because he, as a white man, thought about the last 12 years and believes he has all the knowledge and answers about what Hillary and Democrats did wrong. Crazy to have that much arrogance. What I think is so interesting about it is, so what do you respect about Coates? What do you learn from Coates? Like, is it just we're intellectual equals and peers? And the main thing that I'm getting out of this is your proximity to me, because how bad of a white man can I be if Ta-Nehisi Coates is willing to come on my podcast? But like you're calling him a friend, and he clearly has an experience in this country you're not familiar with and can't quite wrap your arms around. And it felt like it was a very dismissive conversation. And just because you're going, between him pausing his sentences doesn't necessarily feel to me like the same as listening or taking it in. It felt like the more I thought about that conversation, the more I think it just felt like Ezra Klein was doing a Charlie Kirk, and that he might not be disrespecting you or call you the N-word, but the idea of we're sitting here having a polite conversation was more important than any friction that would have led to any level of like, oh, I have to give on this point, or maybe I am wrong about this. Charlie Kirk's superpower was not that he was having a conversation or even that it was civil. It was honestly that he was not going to change his mind. It didn't matter what he was presented with. He wasn't there to have his mind change. He was there to say, my belief in my own point of view is so strong and unwavering. There's no amount of 20-year-olds you can sit in front of me that will make me go, you know what, I respect you as a person, and as a trans person, I don't have that experience, and I'm going to bow to your version and experience of life because I don't know what I'm talking about. He would never do that. That was not the point. And I think in a weird way, Ezra Klein's worship of Kirk and posthumously is really about that. And in this idea of the appearance of conversation that is not actually an exchange of ideas on any level.
No, it's not. And so, like I said before, to me, it's a big waste of time. Like, in my mind, I was like, oh, this whole conversation from the parts that I heard were absolutely positively pointless, because somebody like me, you're not going to cause me to change my mind. I'm not going to cause you to change your mind. I do agree with you. People that are very intellectual, a lot of times they like to quote unquote, we're intellectuals, so we're not going to go to the quote unquote the lowest level of raising our voices and screaming and quote unquote doing what the, you know, not trying to funny, what the natives and the dummies do, because we're quote unquote, we're book smart. But it does not mean we're having a conversation, and it does not mean you're not calling me stupid in your own way. All jokes aside, and it does not mean that you respect my opinion just because we all got degrees or are in these intellectual circles.
JJ Smile says, hey, Rod and Karen, I loved listening to the feedback show this weekend. I especially appreciated you both remind me of the intellect, humor, love, and just all around black goodness of Southern black folk. Rod, I love your tongue-in-cheek caustic analysis. And Karen, I love your fuck you intelligent black fury. Thank you for the podcast. I look forward to it every week. P.S. Fuck Ezra Klein. Had another thought as I was cleaning the kitchen. Also, I wanted to say that I 100% agree with you that black people are going to check out from the political sphere. But I'm increasingly worried about what that might mean. If we allow Gavin Newsom, Tim Walz, and Ezra Klein to invite these mofos in and we end up leaving, then I fear we will see what little power we have left and we'll be demoted back into the undercast. Thinking about how the North gave up and allowed the South to terrorize us. We don't have any power without political power. Everything that we've gained can be stripped from us. As much as we're fed up, we literally have to keep fighting. It's really life or death for us. Totally agree on every single word you said, and I worry about the same thing. Once again, I'm not advocating or even celebrating it. it's more of a sad realization because like I said, I don't find myself to be pessimist or cynical that often. I find myself to be a realist. I think I'm just being real. I'm just reading the forecast and I'm like, these things are lining up to make people feel disenfranchised. And if the people, as you brought up, Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, Ezra Klein, if those people get their way, even and honestly, even David Hogg, even to some extent Pete Buttigieg, if they kind of get their way, even Bernie, if they kind of get their way, if this moment is about panicking and going, we fell a little bit short, so let's go ahead and erode everything. We need to bring in these white folks that have racial resentment, but we think we can convince them as long as we drop all the race stuff and the gender stuff. And I truly, truly, truly think, unfortunately, a lot of black people will feel so disillusioned and disappointed and so hopeless that they probably will more revert to community rather than politics, which I think both of those are valid ways to work and they can both work in conjunction at the same time. Mm-hmm. But I just think a lot of people might feel discouraged, especially coming out of the Kamala, this being the lesson of Kamala's 107 days to try to save the country is, well, you can never have a black woman be president. You can never have, we should stop listening to these black women. And if anything, we need to go and start listening to some of these white people who have shown us that they will vote for a racist rather than support a black woman. Man, that's going to be a tough pill for people to swallow, and just show up and just march and just volunteer and just raise money.
Right.
And just give money. Like, I just think, like I said, I don't take any pleasure in that. This is not me trying to be like some, oh, haha, y'all gonna learn. I think it'll be bad for us if that happens, but I think we're human, and I have to acknowledge that the vibes feel like that could totally happen if people play this wrong.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where, you know, people always kill me with this. Well, bitch, where you gonna go? Back to the house. That's where I'm gonna go. Where you gonna go? I'm a vote, and you're not gonna get anything else out of me. Like I'm not going to stop voting. But like I said, no, I'm not polling, doing the polling. No, I'm not going door to door. No, I'm not donating. No, I'm not doing the call banks. You're gonna get a fucking vote out of me because you told me I didn't matter. You told me you got it with them. Bitch, have it.
Yeah. I think that's a valid way that people will respond emotionally. And I think one of the problems in American politics is that the emotions of people like you and me, and they are very rarely considered to be the default. And the default of the feelings of whiteness and white people ends up becoming so powerful that it's like it becomes a fact. Like I mentioned this during the campaign for Kamala, and you know, some people understood and some people didn't get my point, because I'm a big supporter of the Obamas. I'm not I'm not this person that can't wait to flip on them. They're not my daddy, and I wasn't looking for that.
Right.
But when he lectured black men who were showing up to an event to vote for Kamala Harris already, I was like, it offends me, not because as a black man he shouldn't say that. It offends me because as the only group of men who will be voting for Kamala Harris at the vast majority, we don't deserve to be scolded.
Yeah, and the group in there was not the group for that speech.
And there are other groups who will not support this lady, who will show up in your face knowing that the vast majority of them are going to vote against her, and we don't scold them. If anything, that would be considered bad campaigning. If you showed up and said, white ladies, y'all have been voting against white women, against women in general. You have been voting against women and their rights at a majority. And I am fucking sick of it.
Tired of it.
I've shown up to this white lady feminist brunching to tell y'all, get your fucking shit together, go out into your community, convert each other, raise your daughters better. People would be like, that is the day Kamala Harris lost the campaign. What was she thinking? Is she insane? That's what they would say. They would be like, she deserved to lose. You can't even say white people deplorable if you're, even when you make the caveat of some of these people are racist and they want me to die and they support pedophiles. It's like, whoa, she said deplorable. She gonna lose. Like, that's where we are, because white feelings matter so much more than the truth. And so I think we're not prepared to enter this next phase and be considerate of what happens if black people like get someone else to do it, especially black women. I don't trust that these people would even know how to talk to black women to coax them back. And some of the black women who I see holding on so hard, keeping us engaged, doing that work, being the emissaries that they send out to the community, I want to know, how are they going to support them? You know, what money are you going to throw at L. Joy Williams to make sure that she continues to be able to pass that, like that she's valued, that it's not just a given. What are y'all, what resources are y'all gonna give if Kamala Harris runs in the next primary and she starts winning, because she is probably the most popular person? This is one of the things people just didn't want to admit, but she probably would win a primary.
She would.
Right now, she would still be number one if she ran. If you look at all the polls, all the polls keep trying to manipulate the language to be like Gavin Newsom rises, but they never want to be like, and Kamala Harris is ahead of him and at the front. But the point being, what kind of support are they going to do? Are they going to try to like, oh, she's a loser, oh no, she can't do it again? And then what effect is that supposed to have on the rest of us that are like, I think she got a raw deal and she had 2-3 years to run. I think she would prove she's the best and should win. It's going to be a fucking shit show. That's my point.
Yeah. And also, before we move on, it's also one of those things, particularly being black women, it's one of those things where our relationship with America has always been abusive.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things where it was finally, quote unquote, our time to shine. Because the thing is, when Barack was up there, all jokes aside, black women overwhelmingly supported and was like, okay, it's our time. We understand black men, they put their capes on, they went out, they marched. Oh my gosh, they were so proud, like Black Panther. You couldn't tell niggas shit. Everybody was out there. Even people that fucking never voted before was like, a black man with a dick, goddamn, I'll vote for him. Everybody was out there. Cheer, 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 rah, rah, rah. Okay. But when it's our turn, it's like, these bitches, black bitches, y'all the problem. Y'all why the community fall apart. I'm not voting for a cop my life. That shit fucking hurts. It's a fucking smack in the face. When it was your turn, I was there with my pom-poms. I was there goddamn cheering you on.
Hold up. So what are you saying? Black men didn't support Kamala Harris?
No, I'm just saying men in general. But there was a percentage of black men that came out of the woodworks that was like, I'm not supporting her because she's a woman.
But those niggas was doing that to Obama too. There's a percentage of black men that's like, he's a coon, he's a sellout, I want to support him. Like, that's the thing that I'm saying. I think there's a tactical mistake that is being made to be like, and you niggas did not. There are some niggas that don't.
Right.
But there are gonna always be those niggas. 80-something% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. Yes, why are we even yelling at them right now? So what are we supposed to do? How much of that concentration? Because I'm seeing 53% of white ladies. I'm seeing 70% of white men. I'm seeing Hispanic men vote majority for this Republican bullshit. Why? What is the yelling at black men supposed to be?
It put like this. It's just, instead of the overall totality, it's more of me personally and how I felt. I felt like there was a turning in this country, and not with black men. I take that back. In general, totality of the country was just a big ass turning when it was our turn.
Yeah. And
it was very hurtful.
I agree. I think, and like I said, I'm not saying there's not these black men that like they don't exist. I'm saying, let's talk about proportional response. If there's a scolding that needs to happen to some black men, that needs to happen. But what percentage would you put out there? 75% of our anger should be towards the black men that would have made it be not still a loss. Like, it's like, even that level of, it's that kind of thing. I know politics is emotions, but that's what I'm saying. It's about people's feelings.
Yes.
So people just feel a way. So now we got to move like it's fact. That's one of the problems with politics, is because white people's feelings are validated. Everyone then starts arguing more about their feelings being validated, and we're not having factual discussions anymore. Fact of the matter is, black men showed up. for Kamala, the way they showed up for Joe, the way they showed up for Obama. Slightly less over time, but nothing to a point where we're like, oh my God, these niggas.
No, and I agree with that. It was more of, like you say, the other group. And the thing about the other groups, a lot of times they're so fucking sensitive that you say anything to them, they just scurry and run away, and you like, the fuck is this?
And they think, and the thing is, this is why we always end up having this discussion. The powers that be, media people in the content age, they elevate the contrarian. But
yes,
the same way I would not take Candace Owens and be like, and these black women wouldn't support Kamala Harris. And keep in mind, less black women supported Kamala Harris than Joe Biden. Like when it comes to percentage wise, I will never yell at black women because that's fucking stupid. Like, okay, they on point. Like I can't help the erosion of years of like some people just not gonna do the right thing. But we were on assignment, in my opinion.
Yes.
And if the argument is gonna come down to that, then I just feel like we're failing everybody, because that to me is the smallest part of why Kamala lost. And it's easy to deflect and have us fighting each other than to be like, well, what are we going to do coming out for this? Because I do feel like feelings need to be addressed. Feelings need to be prioritized. Things need to be shored up for this next round of elections and whatnot. I don't think anyone's doing that work. I don't think anyone's trying to make black women feel like, hey, this is not a death knell for the black woman in the Democratic Party. I feel like everyone's kind of going, they'll do it because they always do it.
Yeah, and I think that for a lot of people, particularly people that are working in these circles that have the proximity to whiteness, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond when people tell them, I'm cutting down my hours, I'm cutting down my time, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Other things to do, because
who going to step up? Because I don't feel like all these white folks that's talking about black women, like talking about what the future needs to be, and it doesn't seem to involve very much like LGBTQ, black women, like any of the DEI woke quote unquote stuff, right? They just keep talking about going to get them Charlie Kirk voters, right? Who gonna do the work?
Yeah, and not only who gonna do the work, when these people tell you no, is the real you gonna shine? Because the thing is, you find the truth out about people when I tell you no. Yeah. So if I tell you no, all of a sudden, are you gonna be very understanding, or are you gonna turn around and we're gonna have problems?
Well, don't skip over that. Who gonna do the work though? That's important.
True.
Who gonna do the work is big.
Yeah, it is.
Because right now, I think a lot of them have these ideas that they don't do the work. Like, what is Ezra Klein going to do? I'm not talking about writing a book. I'm talking about what are you going to do to go get these voters that you claim can't wait to come over here?
Yeah.
Because you're not doing shit. You're doing your podcast and then you're writing your articles. What are you going to do? Who's going to phone bank?
Yes.
Who's going to knock on doors? Are all these white people that just keep going, the solution is to get these white people on board, and we just need to talk to them in a certain way. How are you going to do it? Even Bernie's not delivering these white people.
No, he's not.
He keeps making platitudes for fucking 40 years about these people. But but other than his home state, he's not delivering these white people. They're not going, you know what? I was fucking with Trump, but it's Team Bernie now. Like, they're not doing it. Everyone likes to talk like that. But when it comes to going to the polls, it's not happening.
That's true.
It makes no sense, because think about it. If Bernie's not on the ballot, but you support 97% of what he has to say, you wouldn't vote Trump. You wouldn't vote Republican.
Not.
It doesn't make sense, but no one wants to talk about it because white people's feelings become facts.
True.
But I don't know who's going to do that work and what's going to happen.
Because it's a lot of that, like they say in the household, it's a lot of that invisible work that everybody takes for granted, and don't nobody realize the shit ain't done till all of a sudden the oil ain't changed, the tires not rotated, all of a sudden the car not washed every 2 weeks or whatever the system is. Then everybody looking, the fuck is happening. We go, and you're looking around and go, oh, the person that used to do that, they told us no this year.
And like I said, I don't know that will happen. I actually don't hope that it'll happen.
Agreed.
But it could happen, and I just don't see anyone prepared for what happens if you look up and go shit. Anyway, but I did, to be fair, I did see an article the other day that said like some of the fundraising was up for Democrats this year, which is good. Because I like I said, maybe it's working and it's just not in the circles I'm seeing, but people are giving and people are going to volunteer and people are feeling the crunch of this shit. People are supposed to march today for the No Kings thing. Like it doesn't have to, like, it could be we're on the precipice of people pushing back that haven't pushed back before. And if that is true, if that bears out, I'm with that.
Yes.
Like, I'm not against it. I won't be sitting on the sideline complaining and shit. I've seen people write long ass, like, let me tell you why No King's Day isn't as good as these other marches. I don't give a fuck.
I don't
care. They out there. Yeah, they marching. Thank you. Peace. And I'm good for y'all. That's it. Anyway, Dayon Ladre says, update on the Kamala book. Let's just file this under Karen B, knowing I finished it. I wasn't ready. I'm hurt and enraged all at once. Basically feels exactly the way I did on election night. I'm not saying it's not a great book because it is, but I honestly should have probably waited to read it. Josh or Joe Smith says, I hate sneaky sucker punch sales pitches. Oh, the worst. The worst. It's crazy because, like I said, I'm not a dude that's at work like, you know, I'm mostly an introvert. But when that lady started talking to me out of nowhere, I'm like, well, maybe she thinks I'm trying, like, she trying to holler at me, or like, does she think she know me? Like, what is, and then prepaid legal fees. No, I'm good.
Right.
No, and that just means you think I'm a sucker. All right.
And that means I will no longer associate with you unless I have to. Right.
Well, no, they don't want to associate with you anyway. They was just trying to sell you something.
That's true,
it's
too.
Fake. They don't want to be friends. I ain't got to worry about her trying to hang out. Like, as soon as I said no, end of discussion.
Yep.
TKG1 says, another great one. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. And let's see if we have any comments on Spotify for this one. Do we? Nope, no comments on Spotify. So let's check the poll. The poll is, have you ever been fooled by an AI video or pic? 59% yes, 41% no. I feel like I had to have been fooled at some point.
At some point.
I guess the worst part is, how can you ever know? Because if you got fooled, would you be like, what if it fooled you so good you didn't realize it? You know?
I can see that.
But of course, I'm talking about those times where you're like, damn, it got me. And then you go back and go, that's not real.
Yes.
I think as of right now, I would like to say no, but I can't be 100% sure.
Me either, so I just go yes. Yeah. I know something done got me, tricked me or something, and I didn't know it, and somebody be like, I don't think that's real.
Right. All right, let's go. Let's take us a little bit of a break, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. This is just a commercial break. Relax, sit back, enjoy. This is just a commercial break. Not get the break.
All right. The next episode is 3168. It's called Yes, We Know the Website is Down.
We had to let y'all know we knew.
Everyone was telling me. We got 3 comments. Appia says, as a white listener to the show, I wouldn't want to smell like Johnny Depp. Overall, I'm not a fan of him at all. Okay, understood. You don't want to smell like bourbon and regret. Evie says, I'm surprised that Chaperone even said anything, because she acted like it was such an imposition to mention that she voted for Kamala. Yes. I think she even said it. She said Kamala instead of Kamala.
She was really nasty in that video. I remember.
It's funny. Subconsciously, I said it the way she said it. Kamala, and the way she said her name, you said it too. I don't actually think she voted at all. Sometimes just sitting it out and being quiet is okay too. No one, it's funny because I think that is so true, but I feel like I'm the only person who actually believes that. I don't think most people believe it. I think most people say that after the person says something they disagree with. But I truly think that a lot of the times, like, I personally am fine. I like it better when Chris Pratt doesn't talk about anything.
Yep.
I think that's better. Go post
I do too.
Go post your inspirational shit on Instagram. Let people think that you're away, but don't confirm it. Because when you confirm it, I'm like, man, you could have just shut the fuck up. And I was cool with it. And because I think a lot of people say that because they want to assume that the person's on the right side of shit. I say it because I'm like, if you're on the wrong side, just be quiet.
Yes, just shut the fuck up.
I don't need it. That's not why I go to you anyway. Just shut up.
Just entertain me.
Taylor Swift may be getting a lot of bad feedback on her album, but it's already platinum. I've seen TikToks of people playing the part of the album where she supposedly takes shots at Travis's ex and to black women in general. And it's basically her saying she's not a bad bitch. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but I think people are looking for a reason to be mad at her. They're going to find it. Girl, that last sentence is basically everything about Taylor Swift. Hey, I truly, for the most part, do not care, so I don't want to get into too much of the like defense or the takedown of her. I find it to mostly just be content.
Yes.
And in a weird way, I think it's to the detriment of all of us how much time is spent trying to galvanize hatred of people, that it's more like content mining than it's actually like this person did or is a hateable person. I think the default on a lot of discussions of anything involving celebrity turns into haters and stans, as opposed to just like,
I can see that
this is a person that makes this music, do I like it or not? And for honestly, no offense to Taylor Swift, but she doesn't pass my do I like the music test enough for me to truly need to find a reason to not like her. Like, I'm not losing anything. It's like, it's a very casual not giving anything up. And then the last thing I'll say is this, because I haven't seen anyone else make this point, but I'm gonna make this point because I stay on fucking point all the time. I don't like the trend of these white ladies trying to disown Taylor Swift. And the reason I don't like it is because most of y'all gonna vote Republican.
Yes.
Taylor Swift is a Democrat, loud, proud, tell people go vote for these people. She doing the right thing in the big scheme of things. Trying to reframe her as racist and all this. I mean, I know why they want to do it, but they wanted to do it the whole time, even when she's clearly been like, no, I'm not with this bullshit.
Right.
So now it's just more like we're having a petty Mean Girls hate pile on. And I don't believe you white ladies.
No, I don't.
I see the fucking concerts.
Yes, y'all
we all see the streaming numbers.
Earthquakes and shit.
Stop pretending like this ain't your fucking icon. She's fucking it. Whether you, I don't like her because she's so mediocre. Who gives a fuck? You're not supporting these other artists that you claim are better than her at a higher clip than her.
No, you're not. And you're selling her shit out.
I don't want to hear that shit. She ain't never had a chaperone moment.
Nope.
So like, nah, man, I actually think these white ladies are using her on TikTok to disguise that they themselves are not righteous. It's just some feel good shit. I'm different than the other white ladies. I don't even like Taylor Swift. You don't like Taylor Swift? Oh, let me guess, you don't like ice cream? You fucking love it. It's how the fuck is the stadium rocking so loud? It's sending fucking earthquake, seismic vibrations in these cities. Stop, you duff for test too much,
right?
She's obviously a megastar, and it's on the backs of white ladies. It's not a whole collection of. It's not like you walk into the fucking the gym and the homies got on the Taylor Swift. It's not. Come on, man. It's obvious it's y'all. So no, you can't fool me with this. I never liked her. Yeah, okay. You never liked her. Okay. You're not in the whatever her hive thing is probably called.
The Swifties.
Yeah, you're not a Swiftie. Fuck out of my face, man. You lying. And they just want to look like good white ladies, and everyone's in their comments like, yes, tell it, white queen. You really putting her to task. Sure you are, buddy. You gonna be at that fucking concert.
Yeah, you is. You probably went to go see the movie.
Yeah. So I don't trust this TikTok bullshit. Okay? Y'all know that's y'all girl. Trying to fool me.
Ryan, you can't trick me.
Try to get a little pat on the back. Y'all black people better stop being fooled by these white folks. We not ready for this next election. Y'all, the 53% already got y'all again. Out here, yeah, see, they ready to change. No, they not. They be like, yes, Taylor Swift is clearly a racist. Anyway, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I'll be voting for Trump again. Fuck y'all.
Yep, going to the marches.
Angel Reese is tall with a great body and beautiful face. People just hate her for no reason, but she's one of my litmus test people. You can tell if someone's racist or has racist tendencies if they don't like her. Beyonce or Meghan Markle. For some reason, these three women bring out so much hatefulness in people. Yeah, I won't go as far as to say people hate her for no reason. I just will tell y'all, and I have to be honest, the reasons people hate her are reasons I like her. I am not bothered by that. That's what I think that's the most honest way to say it, because I know black people that are kind of like, man, Angel Reese, kind of an asshole. And I'll be like, and?
Yep, she a ball player.
And? Well, when she out here getting fucking double doubles, I'm not asking her to be a nice person.
No, I'm not.
Seems perfectly fine off the court to me, but at the same time, I don't really listen to her podcast. So maybe there's things I'm not consuming where someone would be like, "Oh nah, this I didn't like when she did this or that." But y'all know I'm not that parasocial, so I don't
just watch her play ball.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a bunch of extra shit to be mad about. I don't know what that tweet is that you don't like and all that type of shit. But yeah, and of course there's racist people that are just racist. There's people that won't let the Caitlin Clark thing go no matter how fucking long this thing goes on.
Right.
Which reminds me, we're like 2 weeks away from the WNBA CBA being over. And boy,
it's gonna be interesting. They gonna
Kathy,
they gonna be like, we ain't talking to you,
Kathy.
You really think you're gonna negotiate and then ride off in the sunset? They're gonna be like, no, bitch. They're gonna be like, let's talk. They're gonna be like, is she in the room? Why is she here? Well, then no, we're not talking to you.
I know she looking at that calendar like, ooh. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I won't go as far as to be like everybody that hates her is a racist or whatever the fuck. Cause like I said, I know people that I know aren't racist, that they're not white, that are like, oh, Angel, she's such a jerk. And I'll be like, yes, she is.
Yeah, and men are too, but our time that's applauded.
So, yeah, and I also know people that hate, but you can also hate a man for being a jerk, and we're not considered. We wouldn't. There's no ism attached to it.
Agreed.
So like,
I agree with that one. Yes,
if you just decide like, yo, I don't like LeBron because he seems like an asshole, no one's gonna be like, you're a racist piece of shit if you're black. We'd be like, oh, you one of them Jordan stands or whatever. But we like, it won't get to that level. But yeah, and I think also WNBA just is in a tough position. It's a rock and a hard place. It's not just a sport; it's also a cause.
True.
And unfortunately, you can't really separate the two. You can try to, but there's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of people who are only using the WNBA as a proxy for their political and racial and genderized beliefs. And that's not, until we live in a world where that's not happening, I feel like the default is to be a bit more protective of WNBA players and the brand. And a lot of people come in trying to act like that has been demystified or, it's already been, accepted, so we can just move into a sports only discussion, and we actually can't.
No, we can't. Oh, we can't. I think that's what made a lot of people upset. They was like, all these newcomers, they was like, sports. They was like, bitch, this ain't just sports. Get out of here.
Yeah. Aubrey Graham plans on appealing the verdict, so the L will continue. This isn't the first L he took. He lost the beef with Pusha T, but the only difference between this and Kendrick is that Aubrey was able to ignore Pusha because Pusha doesn't have the numbers or the hits. Kendrick did something Aubrey couldn't ignore. He put out a hit that people could dance to, and Kendrick has a huge fan base. Aubrey could have just laid in the cut until it died down, but he's the one who has prolonged this L. And Kendrick is still selling out stadiums all over the world. Just saw videos of Kendrick in Argentina with a sold out crowd singing A minor. At this point, Aubrey isn't safe in most countries. Maybe he should hide out in Saudi Arabia. I don't think he's unsafe, but I mean, it's so self-inflicted. There's just another world where Kendrick drops oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? It's my favorite song. No. My favorite one, Euphoria. There's another world where Kendrick drops Euphoria and Drake goes, oh, he got me. And honest to God, in that world, Not Like Us doesn't probably see the light of day.
I guarantee
Kendrick doesn't get the Super Bowl.
Mm-mm.
Kendrick isn't doing this tour with sold out stadiums everywhere. It's crazy. He really, really, really turned the L into the hugest victory for Kendrick.
Ain't that crazy? Yeah, if he'd have been like, you know what? No, I don't need to go no deeper than this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just say, hey, got me.
Let me put this L on my back and leave the room for a little bit.
Because you're right. Part of why the Pusha thing didn't blow up is because of Pusha's cachet as an artist. But another part is that Drake just took the L. He just did not do 4-5 more songs that he was like, oh, not my son. Uh-oh. It went back to just, passive aggressive. Every 17th song, he'd have 1 or 2 lines that alluded to some sort of situation, but he wasn't out here like he did with Kendrick.
Yeah, you can't be like drop, and threatening and shit. Like, you ain't bad enough, and he got an ass whooping that he didn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Sean says quietly puts neatly folded fitted sheet on the shelf, homers into the hedge. Nothing to see here. Let's see comments on YouTube. 5 comments for this episode. Man, Karen is on fire. Keep up the good work, y'all. Says R Harp 31. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Dark Ninja says, this is why I was disappointed when they got Obama to make a statement about Trayvon Martin. That set the precedent for the White House to be involved in culture wars. No, I still don't regret it. Even knowing everything that came from it. Even in this moment, I do not. I think that mattered a lot. It was representation in a way that was impactful to me. And I honestly think the lesson the world got from that is still being taught today. And I think a lot of people have not accepted that lesson, but it was that his brief, I think 3 moments of humanity, because I wouldn't even necessarily throw it as like racialized, meaning like he only is having to say something because he's a black man. But I thought that was the 3 times that he truly used the fact that he was black to comment on something. And I think it was, Trayvon, it was Skip Gates. Mm-hmm. I'm drawing a blank on the 3rd one, but it was another thing that he remarked on. And I think we as a country have been experiencing a white lash ever since. He's been called divisive ever since. And it's all because he showed some empathy and some humanity with other black people. And it's sad that this is the cost we're paying for it, because white people to this day call him divisive and still can't tell me why.
Yes, they can't tell you why.
They can't really tell me what he did to divide us. Like, basically, he was supposed to be so grateful to be the first black president. He was supposed to stop being black. His blackness was only supposed to be used as a silencing weapon to other black folks. Like, oh, you're complaining about rights? You have a black president. Shut the fuck up. That's what he was supposed to be used for. And the fact that he got up there and wasn't like that. He got called divisive. Crying for those kids that got gunned down. Not that those kids were black, but those kids that got gunned down at the school. That was divisive. That was wrong. He was fake tears. Our country, that really pulled the sheet off of the country. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Taylor Swift being a trad wife is what MAGA wants. That's true. That is what they want. Mm-hmm. It's funny because she's not, but it is crazy. Once again, it is kind of crazy when you look at how we look at these celebrities. Taylor Swift being a great example. Liberal people want her to be a racist, snow queen, evil bitch. They do. Like, they can say they don't want, but they do. They're making content out of that. They're finding a way. She spent a lot of years. I remember before this, MAGA people wanted her to be this trad wife type girl, and she never would give them any time of the day or respond to it, because she was under management of her father. And then the second that her father was no longer her manager, she basically came out against that type of mentality. It was like, no, I'm liberal. I'm a boss. I own my own shit. I'll sue any man who gets in my fucking way. In my business, with my business acumen, blah blah blah. Right? They don't accept her. Now they're like, fuck her. She need to submit to Travis Kelce. There's no part of her music or life that sounds like the next step for her is to submit to Travis Kelce. Right. That sounds She's fucking stupid.
Bitch, I'm a bigger star than he is. What are we doing here?
I don't even know her like that. I don't even follow her like that, and I know that sounds stupid.
Right.
And then there's, like I said, the other side that it's like the whole point is to hate her or something. So some days maybe feels like I'm a contrarian or whatever, but I don't think I am. I think I'm being true to my own spirit, which is my wake up in the morning default is not, let me find a bitch to hate. I'm good.
Yeah, that is.
I don't need to add
default.
I don't need to add any more people to the roster. People are volunteering. I'm not looking for it. I don't need to decipher lyrics to find it. Normally people just fucking do the hateful shit. And eventually, if they're who people say they are, it'll be apparent. And you won't be able to duck it, So we'll see. But yeah, It is so crazy to watch like MAGA think that that's what they want. What would you even get out of that? What would you even get out of Taylor Swift being like, I'm a traditional wife now, I stay at home, I don't make any money? What are you even fucking getting out of that?
Right.
It's crazy. Dark Nender says, fun show, welcome back, thanks. CPJ Morgan says, who doesn't know Elvira? Stay weird, Karen. Yeah. And then someone on our great uncle Bob put up the picture. Karen was confusing Elvira for Elmira. So Elmira is the cartoon Elmer Fudd looking girl, and Elvira is, of course, the vampire titties lady.
And I can guarantee you, somebody else heard that name and was like, who? So I'm not the only one that don't know who that lady is. That shit was like from 19-somethings. It's people listening to us is born in 2000. So no, I am not the only one that did not know who that lady was.
Oh, Karen took that personal.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No.
I did take that personal.
I have to push back against you taking that personal.
Why?
You cannot be so excited to not know who people are, then get offended when someone writes up here to joke with you about how you don't know who people are. You can't do both.
I can't have both ways.
No. We have a whole segment called Who News because you don't know who people are.
I don't like to be called out on it.
White people news is about how we normally both don't know who they are.
No, I have no idea.
Who doesn't know Elvira? Stay weird, Karen. 3 laughing emojis. CPJ Morgan, I'm sorry she got mad at you. I think she was wrong for that.
I'm sorry. He didn't tell me you had laughing emojis.
That is my fault. You know, I take the blame.
I'm so sorry because it just sounded like a random quote.
Who doesn't know Elvira? She thought Elmira was Elvira. It was funny. I would have sent it to Firestarter, but now I won't since I know she gets upset about it.
Nope. I didn't get your quote in the full context.
Okay, all right.
That's not my fault. You didn't add the laughing emojis, and that matters.
That's true. It was my fault. I'm sorry, everybody. Miss T840 says the way I ugly laughed at Karen talking about the Alaska paper. Yeah, it was hilarious. Good stuff. Let's see what the poll says for this episode. Yes, we know the website is down. Do you know how to neatly fold a fitted bed sheet by yourself? Yes or no?
No, I ball it up and call it a day.
51% no, 49% yes. I am shocked it's that high, but congratulations to you that can do it. Do I believe you? I'm going to choose not to. And you're going to go, but Rod, why would you disrespect me? No, I'm saying because I don't believe y'all are all sociopaths or psychopaths. So I'm going to just say, no, y'all lied to me because y'all just like to lie. Everybody go to the TikTok. Everybody go on Instagram. Upload a video of you folding a fitted sheet by yourself. Tag us to it. And I'll start to individually believe y'all. And then I'll know which of y'all are sociopaths. All right, next one. All right. 3169. Nice. Leave Kamala alone.
Please do.
EVE says open carry only really worries me in places like bars and where things could easily escalate. I remember one year I was spending Thanksgiving in North Carolina. Me and my family went to a Walmart for the Black Friday sale. And I saw a guy open carry and I got far away from that dude because if you're open carrying on Black Friday, you're looking for problems. Or hear me out. You're looking for no problems.
Cause if they got 10 TVs and you pick up one, bitch, it's yours.
Right.
I'm not boxing you out for this 100-inch TV that's $29.99. You can have it.
I'm anti-gun, but I'm gonna be honest. Open carry on Black Friday sounds pretty smart. you definitely gonna get your place in line.
Whatever it is you want in this store, bitch, you got it. Fuck it, I give you mine. Here you go. But mama, shut up.
Shootout the OK Corral.
I know. Kids
yes.
crying because you're giving up their dog.
I'm getting the last Elmo.
Yes,
is it gonna be a
is.
problem? And you just show your heat. They be like, nah,
it will not, sir. I will go on Walmart. They will get it the first of the year, and these little niggas will be all right.
I'm getting 2 Tickle Me Elmos. Yeah, I said it. Stephen A. Smith is a coward. This isn't the first time he's been pressed face to face as he stutters when confronted. I think LeBron pressed him in public and he had nothing to say, but had plenty to say on this podcast when LeBron was not there. Yeah, I saw he was on the Pivot this week. I didn't watch it, but I just saw the little quote in the video that was him saying LeBron doesn't talk to white sportscasters the way he talked to black sportscasters, being Stephen A. Smith as if he's the only black sportscaster.
Right.
He's a coward because he hides behind race. He only uses race when it's convenient for him. He never stands for anybody else racially in any real substantive way unless he can find a way to tie it back to his own ego. But yeah, it's so funny because LeBron gets talked about by all the sports people. There's a lot of people who made a living off of shitting on him.
Mm-hmm.
He only walked up on you, but it's plenty other black folks that have found ways to not like him. He ain't walked up on everybody. You know, everybody ain't been confronted. And also he doesn't owe you shit. He doesn't have to like the way you talk about him or whatever. He's a billionaire too. You also don't talk about every athlete the way you talk about LeBron, but it's not about the truth with him. Cause like you said, he's a coward. He hides behind shit.
Yeah. He
lies to people and shit. He's a very weird guy.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things when you say things on a public platform, people can respond back to you and people can turn around and not respect you because you said these things. So, and once you put it out in the ether, it is what it is. Yeah. So, you know, unless you have conversation with them behind the scenes, they can feel how they want to feel. And it doesn't mean they have to fuck with you. And it doesn't mean they have to interact with you. Like some people go, oh, you're talking shit about me. You don't have access to me. You can't talk shit about me and still want access to me.
Well, also, it's not like he did anything. He basically said, man, stop talking about my son like that. And like walked away. Like, we're not friends. It's not misunderstood. Like, I'm checking you to your fucking face. And then Stephen A., much like when I got beat up one time in 10th grade, he is basically, we're now all him in the shower talking about what he would have done. Like he's me taking a shower later, like I should have kicked him in the nuts, then hit him with the basketball, and then flipped over and, like a ninja and chopped him in the neck. And it's like, now we're all part of this revisionist, like, and I know he wouldn't have slapped me because I would have slapped him back. It's like, if he would have hit you, you would have just been knocked out because he's 6'8".
Right.
And you're not. Like, it's like you don't become Superman because you get on the microphone and talk shit. Like, and also no one's trying to do shit to you. So like, stop making shit up. He checked you and you ain't had that same energy. He tried to backtrack on his podcast with Alexis as well. One day he's going to piss the wrong person off and get punched in the mouth. I also wanted to add that whenever Stephen gets a chance to shit on black women, he will take it. He deliberately overlooked the cultural significance of Serena Crip walking during Kendrick's performance because she's actually from Compton. Her being Aubrey's ex was just icing on the cake. Yeah, he also, I mean, yeah, I don't even know where to go. I don't know that he even has the cultural cachet to truly understand what's going on in the black community.
Right.
I really don't. Like, he's out of his depth for the whole not like us thing. And if it wouldn't have been for that sports connection of Super Bowl and Serena, I don't even know he has an entry point. And yeah, he's horrible with his gendered politics and for black women as well. Like, the thing about Stephen A. that's really hard for people is that he's not one way all the time. If he was like Candace Owens or Jason Whitlock or somebody like that, he'd be nefarious amongst black people. But he's slippery. He knows how to commune and sit down and especially with men, but just in general, he knows how to like be charismatic around black folks and signify certain things that black people like have grown with and certain cultural touchstones. But as far as being immersed in the culture and knowledgeable and all that, he ain't really all that. And he's not trying to be. And every once in a while, he knows he has to come scold us to maintain a certain level of credibility with the white folks that he pivots to all the time. So he'll always undercut himself in some way. But yeah, I saw he was talking. I didn't go watch the clip, but I saw he was talking shit about Jasmine Crockett and how she needs to talk to Trump nicer and all. It was just like, okay, that's who he is. I don't know how this is a man you can truly ever fully respect as a black person. I just don't. And I'm far from a Stephen A hater. I'm a person, I'll turn on fucking the sports thing in the morning and let it play in the background. I think he's probably still our best person at sports TV.
He's very good at his job.
Yeah, but but just as a man, principles and beliefs, no, I have almost no respect for him. I don't think he stands for anything. I think he'll lie to your face. He'll say shit, and I think everything's about his ego. And I think he tries. I don't even believe him when he says he's offended and hurt. I think he's lying and playing to an audience with that shit. He's hurt when he wants to be hurt and offended when he wants to be offended. But he'll do the same thing that he gets his feelings hurt about to other people with no sense of irony. It's just weird. Sean says about these CDC layoffs and rolling back vaccine accessibility and whatnot, historically speaking, every time a racist D-list celebrity with age-related mental infirmity has ended up in the White House, they have mismanaged the early stages of disease outbreak, leading to excess more than would have happened under competent policy, mortality of hundreds of thousands of Americans. This time, it looks like rather than waiting for an outbreak, Donald J. Trump, is trying to start multiple outbreaks to add the highest body count possible. Apia says, I always enjoy Alexis being there for Serena. She got so much unnecessary criticism during her career. I'm happy for her that she has a loyal husband, money, and beautiful children. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I said, man, as a husband, the idea that you gotta wait for your wife to come tell you, can you stand up for me? Nigga, your husbanding wrong. I'm just gonna tell you now. Don't get married. Don't get married. Better to ask forgiveness than permission, I guess.
Rather be like, you embarrassed me. Okay, yeah. I embarrassed you, but okay.
I like
right?
And I mean, look, and I'm sure there's some weirdo, abusive people that are terrible, that are jealous and possessive, that will overstep. But I feel like those issues will show up and get you in relationship trouble regardless of what's happening. I think if your woman is actually being publicly attacked and you just the type to be like, I'm just cool about it, I just hope she's down with that too. Because I'd rather her be like, you ain't have to go that hard, than her to be like, you really ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing. And also it's one of those things.
So you just went on fucking first take with this man and talk like that, and you just was like, here to promote my business, y'all have a good one. Okay, he was right there. Okay, got it. No, it's cool.
Yeah, like Donald Trump calling that man's wife ugly, and we supposed to be cool. No, fuck you.
Yeah, that's who y'all respect. That cool. That's not how I can't respect that. For some reason this thing was weirdly out of order. That's weird. Anyway, I was trying to check to see if there was comments on one of these episodes. And apparently there were 3 comments on the last episode. I just didn't see them. Okay. All right, I'll get to those in a second. But I can guess I'll get to them now. So I skipped over the comments from Spotify for yes, we know the website is down. Sorry. Kisha from Brooklyn says, my oldest daughter is 20 years old and can fold a fitted sheet and drinks her coffee black. I know she's a sociopath and proud of it. Jay Adamo says, the Dixie Chicks even made a song called Not Ready to Make Nice about how they were not backing down even in the face of death threats they received. This is one of my favorite songs of theirs. Yeah, they was about that smoke. Nadine, the shoe booty, says the fitted sheet thing solidifies my psychopath status and Clooney can go all the way home. No one asked, and these issues don't even affect him with his insulated, wealthy lifestyle. There we go. Got y'all's comments. And let me check the leave Kamala alone comments on here. How many did we get? Okay, this one, none. Okay, cool. Now let's go to YouTube. 14. Okay. Cali Bruh Mike says, that shit is Tyler Perry's book. I don't know what that means. Dark Nander says, just like they decided to pay the military October 15th, they're always backtracking. Fun show, thanks.
Oh, is that the one where we talked about the lady where it looked like the hands was on the back of his neck?
Oh yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
I was like, I remember that cover.
New from Publix: peach packing heat rotisserie Glock chicken. Says Darth Vader.
Glock chicken.
That's hilarious, Darth Vader. DEAS 9410 says the protesters make no sense. They are only doing this to black people or Democrats. Like, be for real. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. And I think I was probably maybe I'm patting myself too much on the back, but I think I was probably the most patient and reasonable person about them fucking protesters. I really, like, if you lost me, I just don't know who the fuck's on your side. Like, only a contrarian ass sycophant would still be on the side of these motherfuckers. Like, I don't even know what they want.
Right, but I bet you're doing a book tour. What are your demands? She has no power. What are we doing here?
Reach Scholars Tutoring says Trump wants peace so he can have space to build his son-in-law's condos over there. I'm so sick of these folks bothering Kamala. Critical Thinker says Democrat Party leaders, including Jeffrey and Schumer, need to use Kamala as a scapegoat to prevent discussion of their ineptitude and financial backing. Why are Dems great till they have to be great? Yeah, I think that's interesting because I would say that Schumer and Jeffries have not done that much blaming of Kamala. I don't think they should, for the record, but I would say that has not been what they have been using to try to like avoid people calling them out. And I don't know what their strategy is because they haven't really given us a reason. Well, let me be fair, because I try to be fair. The last couple of weeks with this government shutdown, they are giving us a reason to be supportive of them. So I'll give them that. But before this, they weren't really messaging or giving much. Now, they're not in power, but I think you're always in power of your message. You can go out to the people and communicate and give speeches and show up in these media spots, go to your social media. They weren't giving us a lot there. The fact that people like Gavin Newsom somehow got above the fray and was able to get to the leadership position in the zeitgeist is kind of indicative of a lack of something coming out of Schumer and Jeffries in a moment where it just seems like they should want to be more involved in the messaging, just because it hasn't been helpful for them to stay back. It seems like it's only hurt them.
Yeah, it hasn't. And like I said, maybe it's just me. I'm not no political strategist or anything like that, but I'm trying to tell you, as hard as they keep wanting to push out the message that it's the Democrats' fault, every campaign, every time you see my face, anybody asks you about the federal government, I will look you in your eye and say, ask Democrats. Ask Republicans. They got the power. Ask Republicans.
Yeah, they've been doing that lately.
Yeah, like I would have been doing that from day one.
Right.
Like no, we're not playing these games. We don't have the power. They can do this if they want to pass this. Yeah. And the thing is, if they pass it like this without somebody, quote unquote, crossing the line, all of a sudden you're 100% accountable when the shit flops.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not, but yeah, I don't think look, it's not, maybe they're using the invisible hand, whatever, but I don't think they're really pushing the Kamala fuck this up for all of us message. Not those two, but I just feel like their messaging has been subpar until the last 2 weeks.
It's been whack.
Stephen A. and Amanda Seals both have selective smoke for people in our community who be minding their business. While Jackson was talking, it all clicked, says AC. Vanessa says, welcome to the cookout. Jasmine, girl, no. 5 stars, says Ramsey D. PH done. Linda says, by now, the never Kamala folks should have realized that they fucked up. Instead, they're spiraling and protesting a person that has no power to do anything because they help suppress the votes. Who is funding these protests? Tickets to her book tour as high as $300 or more for seats close to the stage. Woo. Yeah, I don't get it. That's a lot of money.
Right.
Kim,
somebody's footing that bill.
Kim Doc says, never been to a hockey game, and Capitals fans seem to be a whole lot when they're leaving the game on the Metro. But maybe one day I'll go see them play the Rangers from the cheap seats.
I've been to a hockey game. They're actually very funny. It's very fast paced.
AAA hockey, right?
Yeah, like lower, like not professional hockey, but like lower.
Charlotte Checkers is what I saw.
I don't think I seen it. Did I see check? I seen some team in Fayetteville, and it might have been the Checkers or somebody. In Fayetteville, they had when I was a student, they gave us like free tickets to the game. So me and a bunch of buddies got up and rode up there together. We was like, "Hey, anybody been to a hockey game?" No, and we actually had a great time. The time goes by fast. People be fighting. It's penalties, and before you know it, the game over.
Yeah, my uncle Alan, rest in peace, of course, took me to my first and I think only hockey game. He took me to the Charlotte Checkers game. And it was funny because there was this black dude on the team, and Alan was like, yeah, so he gets in the fight every game, and he could fight. And it was basically like from that point on, we was just watching to see when he was going to start fighting people, and he did not disappoint. He
they put him in the penalty boxes and shit.
Yeah. Hey now, guys, and Karen, your righteous anger, yes, fire burn them. The performative Kamala Harris protesters are trying to drive a stake in her future presidential ambitions. They still want Bernie, and if they can't have him AOC, she's going to call them a bunch of slow-footed motherfuckers any day now. Slew-footed, okay. Thank you, Nathaniel. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all the comments for this episode. So let's get to the poll, which was, are you more likely or less likely to shop at a store that allows open carry?
I'm less likely. Like
95% of our audience is less likely to shop there, and only 5% is more likely.
Yeah, I know it's irrational, and I know it's illogical, and I know odds are nobody gonna fucking touch me, and I know people probably have concealed. I'm fine with concealed, because concealed I can't see, but it's just something about you letting me know that it's on your hip, and I'm like, bitch, the fuck am I in here? I just want to get some tilapia and go about my business. I didn't come in here for the guns and bullets on the side.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's whether it's irrational or not, I think that's a very real thing that people, I doubt there are a lot of people who are like, oh, open carry, can't wait to go back to the store. Like, unless you're just a weird open carry enthusiast, which of course makes it less likely that people want to be around you. So, all right, let's go to the next episode, 3170, The Two Sides of Carlton. Appia says, I looked the picture up and I didn't recognize Donald Trump immediately, so maybe there's something to it, but of course, is this an important problem? No. Sean says, the headline on the beef between Stern and Oprah must have been written by Arby's because it looked juicy, but when you got there, it was overcooked and less than half of what you expected.
Oh, no.
Also, fuck Paula Deen and her oversugared, underseasoned, greasy-ass recipes. Oh, and fuck her for the racism. EVE says Mitt Romney can kick rocks. He's no hero. He votes right alongside the most deplorable of his colleagues. Him asking Biden to pardon the orange turd is no surprise at all. I really feel sorry for his adopted black grandson because I just know that kid has been indoctrinated and will probably be a coon, and it won't be his fault. I love Arby's, but even I knew better than not get the steak nuggets from a fast food. Oh, fuck you, EVE. Fuck out of here.
He said, I even know better. As
don't
somebody,
you dare. Don't you dare. Because if I wouldn't have got him, she would have been like, oh, there's probably great, Rod. You just don't like food that's great. Fuck out of here.
That's hilarious.
I called your bluff. I ate that bullshit. Now you know you can't lie to my face. I've seen
me as an Arby's t-shirt wearer. I wouldn't even do it.
I've seen too many reviews that said it tastes like beef jerky. I can get beef jerky at the dollar store. As for lawsuits, it was created by some haters. All restaurants make their food look more attractive than it is in advertisements. Arby's has succulent meats besides the steak bites. Oh yeah, they cook everything to perfection except the steak bites. That's why the ad has rare roast beef, but the beef in there is boiled to beyond recognition. Okay, buddy.
It's boiled to beef jerky. That was a true ass shit.
This is all slander. They will be vindicated in this frivolous lawsuit. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
That's hilarious.
You're a terrible person, Evie. trying to gaslight me. Sad.
Evie is a comedy talent.
Do you even hate Trump, or do you just want to be Trump? You sound envious of Trump. He also constantly lies and try to gaslight you into thinking it's the truth. Let's see. On YouTube, Eric says, nah, they said you can't expose or catch COVID, LOL, and no, it wasn't corrected until they had people taking boosters. They being noted, Kennedy should be in a mental health facility, not running the health of the government. You can't compare evolving science, aka COVID, with purposeful misinformation about proven vaccines. She is wilding. Eric, I'm gonna push back on you, buddy. Gotta push back. I'm sorry. We had a segment on this show. Maybe you're a new listener. I don't know. But we had a segment on this show that was about COVID, and we covered it literally every day we did this podcast. And what I tell you, they were not saying you can't be exposed or catch COVID if you get vaccinated, and then suddenly they admitted it when the boosters came out. That's not true. And we have to be factual if we're going to talk about these important topics. Because what's the difference between what Kennedy is saying and what you're saying? Like, let's keep it real. And once again, I'm not saying that they never misspoke. I'm not saying they got everything right. I still know that the stuff, for example, the stuff like it was created in a lab in China, and it's like, well, actually, that might not have been far-fetched. Started as something that people said it was a right-wing conspiracy, but maybe it is what happened. We don't really know.
Right.
I will accept that. But this whole idea that like the CDC was like, the vaccines are here, and if you get the vaccine, you 100% will be cured, and you won't get it. No one will. They didn't say that shit. I was here for that. We were covering that. It was a big fucking day on the show when they were even trying the vaccines.
Yeah, testing them. Mm-hmm.
But like, whatever it wasn't a, hey man, we just not gonna say shit. Oops. Actually, you can keep getting it. They knew immediately everybody would know you could still get it.
Yeah, because it's a vaccine.
No one's stupid.
Not a cure.
But anyway, Puffery, he just put, Derrick Rose, woo my heart, stop for a minute, not poo. Oh, that ninja? Glad they finally caught this repeated criminalistic individual. Oh, he's talking about Derrick Grove, who was the guy who got caught. But honestly, repeated criminalistic individual and Derrick Rose. I mean, you put that in the sentence, not me. Matt says, it's not Jude Law. I cannot tell the difference between Orlando Bloom and John Mayer. If I saw a picture of one of them, I would have to guess. Doc Nanda, another fun show, had me laughing, thanks. Ramsey PH Dunn says 5 stars for keeping it 100 always. I was today years old about the information of Mitt Romney going to Uncle Joe about Trump's. My 2 cents, Nixon was guilty and should have been punished. Yeah, I think a lot of us feel that way now. Shamika says, Rod, don't do my friend like that. She was blinded by the white woman tears. White woman tears will put you in a trance and make you turn it on your mama. It's okay, Karen. Come on back. Take 2 Tylenol, some Robitussin, and a nap. You'll be okay.
They powerful.
She don't do me like that. Karen's gonna let Paula Dean do all us like that. Y'all better toughen up. Y'all won't make it through this next 4 years. Y'all better be able to call y'all friends out and be like, no, we not letting that racist vampire into the house.
Karen, no, Paula Dean won't be cooking the meals.
Karen would have let one of them vampires in sinners. Y'all, we would have all got killed because y'all think it's okay because we can't be mean to Karen. JJ says, Karen, where's your black fury for Paula Dean's evil ass? I am shooketh, right? She be getting mad about the smallest stuff, but not this evil ass racist troll.
I apologize.
A stick of butter in a
vat of grease.
A stick of butter and pour lard directly in the grits. Oh, we are cooking now. Now I get to say the N-word. Just kidding, but I will say ride with DEFCON 3 on you with all those Dr. Umar quotes. She needed that. I was trying to save her. Anonymous introvert says Rod was right about Arby's. Criminal organization spreading lies and deceit. Right. And EVE, the main goddamn criminal. The Gus Fring of Arby's.
Oh, That's hilarious.
Douglas says, it's always highly suspicious when the current administration kills potential terrorists or drug smugglers, but never were able to verify information because they never did any real criminal investigation. What's crazy is that the cartel's bounties to harass and disrupt Border Patrol officers in retaliation. What's even crazier is the dude that was over that resigned. Not Hegseth, but the guy who was overseeing the blow up the boat shit, he just recently resigned. And I'm like, man, it's sad because every time one of these people resigns, it obviously means they're resigning in protest. But also at the same time, the person they get in there is probably going to be somebody that's just like, yeah, I'll blow up the fucking brown people. I don't care.
Yep. And that becomes a problem.
But shout out to them for taking a stand. I don't know what you do. You know, and it's easy to judge them people, but honest to God, all the judgment in your heart, think about it. If it was you, what would you do? What would be the right thing to do? Because you can go, I'm not going to do it. Okay, you're fired.
Right.
So then what you got to do? You got to write a resignation letter, and it's like, I don't like what they doing. That's it. Or you just blow the people up and go, man, that's fucked up. Blow up. I don't know. Jason says, I honestly thought Paula Deen had died. She's been super quiet, so I'll give her credit for at least acting canceled. I give Alfonso some grace. I forget sometimes he was a genuine child star. Things could have turned out so much worse. There's no rehab for coonery. Also, I would expect a 20-year-old to talk how he was talking in the clip at that time. Those videos that Trump is trying to have played in airports are absolutely propaganda. Wait, hold up. Hell no. You ain't giving Alfonso no fucking credit. The video from him talking about I'm leaving with a lovely blonde white woman is when he's like fucking 30 or 40 though.
He's old, much older.
So no, you don't get the no, absolutely not. Y'all gotta stop trying to, you can't gaslight me. Stop trying to be tricky. I give him some grace. Well, he won't give your black ass no grace, okay? If he saw you coming through a door, he'd close in your face.
Oh no.
Those videos that Trump is trying to have played at airports are absolutely propaganda and let you know fascism is here. Well, I think we should give him some grace. See how that sounds, Jason? Crazy, don't it? Of course not. When it comes to airports, I want to mention I want no mention of politics at all. I even hate when they have news on at your gate. People always start talking to each other loud enough for someone can hear, and now I gotta know I'm on a plane with people who don't know who won the 2020 election. Just put it on the Weather Channel or HGTV and lose the remote. Shut up and fly. Ha. That's good. Yeah, that is funny that you can have a Weather Channel on now. Because it's just like, this is why your plane ain't going to be here. Like, shit. At least I know.
At least I know.
3170, the two sides of Carlton, got a couple comments on Spotify. Rest in peace, D. I didn't care if you made another album. I wanted you to know peace and contentment, says I am Seti. And Nadine Shoe Booty says, the best quote I saw was Arby's just announced their new steak nuggets. Mind you, I haven't seen a raccoon in weeks. Mm-hmm. I know that wasn't beef.
That's hilarious.
Someone take them nuggets and do a DNA test. There's no way that's real beef. The poll. Now that we have huge flags, will you eat more Steak and Shake? Yes or no? No, 98% of our audience is not planning to eat more Steak and Shake. But we do have one listener that's like, ooh, not big flags. I'll be there tomorrow.
Extra big? How big? That's about the size.
Nothing says tasted like a big ass flag.
Let me put my flag lapel on and go on up to the Steak and Shake.
Right. Let me put this right next to my thin blue line sticker.
Yes. And my Punisher black and white sticker.
Who the fuck pulls over like, ooh, huge flag? I know it's gonna be banging up in there.
That's how they catch them. They just put a huge flag up and then all of a sudden folks are showing up. What you selling? Whatever you selling, I'm buying.
All right, we got a lot of voicemails.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the voicemail line. The first one's from Lily from Brooklyn. Thank you, Lily. And you got to the only thing I was going to say, which is the last part, which is the most important part. He never said that. And that's important.
He said transitional, which is completely different than I'm not going to take.
Yeah, he didn't.
He never said I'm not going to take
it's
a second
important.
term.
Facts are important in these discussions because if you're going to hold something against somebody, it should be something they said and they didn't live up to, not something that we interpreted that they didn't say. And then the other thing I would add to is I apologize. You're right. You weren't agreeing with Klein, but my point is not necessarily whether you agree with him. Is that I find that type of misinformation is useful to someone like Klein. Because it all adds to the same thing. Ezra Klein would count you among people that support him who said Joe Biden should step down. So that's what I mean. Like whether it's for, well, I have a different reason he should step down. Whatever. That it still erodes the goodwill and the obvious, as you alluded to, that he's doing a good job. Yes. And once again, if your belief is that that Kamala would be a better president, succession is right there. So we elect him. He's old. He's frail. Something gonna happen to him. She becomes president. I was fine with that. That was I was perfectly okay with that. I was not necessarily worried about his mortality at all because I truly thought we had someone in place that was the failsafe. And man, as we sit here in October 2025, he's still alive. So, everybody was telling me he'd be dead by now and all this shit. And
yes, they did. That's what Apicare told me.
Yeah. So anyway, Allegra says, next voicemail. Oh shit, they can't hear this, right? Can y'all hear this?
I don't know.
Oh, they can't. Oh, son of a bitch. I guess the chat wasn't updating for Karen or something. Guys, this is my fault.
Oh, it wasn't updating, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Give me a second, everybody. I hate when this happens. Every week, I fucking have this same.
Okay, now I see a current chat because no.
Okay, yeah, the Crowdcast is wilding, guys. Give me a second. I got to figure out how to do this so that you guys can hear it and not. How do I go back? Okay. All right. I have to open a different browser. Pull this up. God damn it.
Yeah, because I did.
Now everyone who listens later will be able to hear that first voicemail. I'm so sorry y'all didn't get to hear that. I don't want to repeat the last 5 minutes of my life by playing it again, but I'll play it again for y'all and I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. But this is what y'all missed.
Karen, it's Lily from Brooklyn. I just wanted to clarify my reasons for why I didn't think Joe Biden should get a second term. It has nothing to do with what Ezra Klein was saying because I hadn't even been listening to Ezra Klein at that point. So I didn't know what he was talking about. But for me, I thought that Joe had said when he was first running for president that he would only do one term and then he would turn it over to younger voices. And during his term, he would prepare the next wave of Democrats to, step up to the podium. So I was surprised when he was like, oh, I am going to run. So that's my thing. It's not about him and the job he did or didn't do. I actually think that he was a great president. And that's what I said earlier when I wrote in or called in to you guys. And, we disagreed and that's fine. But my thing was that I thought he should have stood up to his word and just done one term like he said he was going to do, or that was my understanding of what he said he was going to do. He was a great president. He was the person we needed at the time that we needed him. And I think that he will be a president like Jimmy Carter that one day people will look back on and think, wow, he really did do a lot for this country. And yeah, so that's the thing. So no, did not agree with Klein or anybody else that was like, oh, he's old, he's this, he didn't do enough. No, that wasn't my thing with Joe. I just thought he should have stood up to his initial word, which you guys corrected me and said that he didn't say that. And I did some research and whatever. It is what it is. So again, as always, I really thank you guys for the conversation. So, all right, peace out. Bye.
Now for everyone in the chat, hopefully what I said made sense.
Yes,
earlier.
and also it's just one of those things where, you know, like Roger said, for us, we see eye to eye as far as him being a good president. And I do think, like Roger was saying before, he's going to be remembered very, very fondly after the fact. Like, after the fact, he's going to go down.
I've always believed that. I actually think the same of Obama, by the way.
Yep, one of the greatest.
When you let trash in after a president that you was, quote unquote, not perfect, I'm sorry, but the trash will lower the bar every time. And we can be 40, 50 years from now, people will be quibbling over like small things in the Obama administration, but the big historical things like black people possibly losing the right to vote, people trying to bring back slavery, starting, you know, like it's just, these things are going to, no pun intended, trump whatever quibbles you have about, Biden wasn't he could have been better at this. Jimmy Carter is a guy that for the large part, one-term president, very unpopular, beaten in a landslide. Like, you know, it's a revisionism that makes people be like, that's the kind of president we want and need. Well, not when you had him. You didn't believe that.
No, you did not.
All right, now to Allegra's voicemail.
Hello, you two. It's Allegra. This is the feedback on the feedback on the feedback. I'm responding to your conversation versus conversion feedback episode. And you're at the point in the podcast where you're discussing one of your people wrote in saying that they're considering leaving the country. I can't remember the person's name right now. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now, and I love when you guys are always sort of in my brain. It's so great. I wish that someday soon I can come to North Carolina and have coffee with you and Karen. It would be amazing. But I'm straying from the point. The main point is you're at the point of the podcast where you're talking about Black women and them being the largest constituents of the Democratic Party, the highest voting percentage, blah, blah, blah. And I also want to add that I think that a lot of the backlash that's happening is a direct response to Black women and their activism within the Democratic Party, the Me Too movement, DEI, which wasn't really focused on Black women, but you know, we are the largest percentage of degreed people. So I think it's a low key, it's going to sound very conspiracy, third eye, but I think it's a low key attack on Black women. So I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about that. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
I mean, I think that's right.
And, you know, it's going to be interesting next election to see how many Black women are disenfranchised. Like, on the real, though, how many Black women like me just going to be like, I vote, but I'm not doing anything else. Like, how is this going to impact things?
Whenever you say that, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's all you were doing, right? Like, it was like you're not knocking on doors, you're not marching, you're not volunteering. So like you're doing what you were going to be doing. So they're not losing anything out of you, really.
Not for me.
Okay, so you say that, but I say my question is for people that were doing more,
right?
Because if they were doing more, and because I would even go as far as say another thing that you do is come on this podcast and we talk about these issues and it spreads some level of awareness and humanity. We're not planning to not do that.
Right.
So I don't, you know, I just wonder, is everyone going to just, I'm going to keep doing what I was doing? Or are there some people who are feeling a bit, you know, let down and maybe not as motivated? We're going to find out. We don't really know yet, but we're going to find out. And what is the plan if that happens? Because what I'm not trying to hear, and look, I'm not predicting, but what I definitely ain't trying to hear is motherfuckers blaming black folks if the party isn't on the ground with the ground game the way it was before, because black people have been told kind of to be like, fuck your rights, we moving on, and then be like, what? No one's doing the work. Like, I ain't trying to hear like, and Democrats are failing because black support. You're failing because you haven't given support to black folks.
Right. And
we support what support us.
Right. And also, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to hear it. And like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to hear you put some milk toast ass, bland, middle of the road white dude up there that ain't going to talk about shit and y'all fucking lose. Don't look me in my face,
Right.
you know, not trying to be funny because y'all said that we didn't matter.
They'll find a way to make it on us as opposed to just like, well, we failed a key constituency of our party, of our coalition. And it won't just be black people, for the record. Because if they put somebody up there who is at least what they're pushing right now, this idea of we got to let this gay shit go, this trans shit go, this black shit go, this immigrant shit go. We need to let anything that's not white people economics go. I don't want to hear the fucking referendum if they lose. And if you win that way, just understand like that means we're in a post diversity age. If you win that way, if you win with the coalition being we are not talking about these issues and you somehow do pull out a win, that's a white party. That's just Republicans to the right, to the left a little bit.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Last one. I mean, not last one. Next one.
Hey, Ronnie here. This is Kiana. I'm listening to the feedback show cracking up because the guy, everybody's talking about what the rapture pastor was going to say. He actually has come out and made another statement and basically said that when Jesus had called him on the main line to give him the date, he misinterpreted and he was using the wrong calendar. He interpreted the rapture date on the calendar that we currently use when it's another historical calendar. So the rapture date has been pushed up. It's this month, so, you know, we don't have time to get right with God before Jesus comes back for real, not for real this time. Anyway, that's it. Love y'all. Bye.
You know what's crazy about that, Pastor? Because, like, I think the next date was just a little bit in the future. We may have already passed it. I don't know. But what's crazy about that, Pastor, is like, why would God give you a confusing date? God is all knowing. Why would he be like, yeah, oh no, not that calendar? Like wouldn't he have to be like, oh no, remember it's the old calendar.
The Mayan calendar. Yeah. I feel was right. I said that's what he was gonna do.
She did. Anyway, I feel like he just gonna keep moving it like when somebody owe you money. Oh no, I get paid next week. I got it then for show, player. Let's see. Blue Wave Rider left 2 voicemails.
Hey, Rod, it's the Blue Wave Rider. Haven't talked to you in a while. I was listening to the feedback show 3167, where you talked about Coates versus Klein. I was glad that I listened to your feedback show because it helped me crystallize some of my thoughts. I listened to that podcast with anticipation, and when it was over, I was asking, where can I get that hour of my life back? It seems like Klein just wanted to have his say, and whenever Coates responded, Klein moved on to the next thing. Perfect example was when Coates said, these are the best white people we've ever had in America. You know, Klein's moved on to something else instead of staying with that and saying, well, why do you think that? What
right.
distinguishes this group of white Americans from all others? But it was just Klein's just making sure he had his say and damn what Coates thought. Also, Klein to me is a lot like Bernie and some of these other people who think that they can convince some of these middle of the road Republicans to vote Democratic. I think what the Democrat needs to do is get boots on the ground and stir up that Democratic base. You've got a lot of disenfranchised Democrats who have just given up on the process altogether. Now, the downside, I'm going to be cut off, so I'm going to just stop and call you back. Okay.
It is 3 minutes, not 2, but I feel you. Appreciate that. Let me just say, I I agree, and yeah, it really, in its own way, it was a tribute to Charlie Kirk, because Coates was just there for Klein to get his points off. He was not very curious about it. It did not feel that conversational in hindsight. Like, the more I thought about it, the more it felt like an illusion of a conversation, which is exactly what the Charlie Kirk was about. All right, next voicemail.
Okay, this is Blue Wave Rider finishing up my thought. I think the reason the Democrats don't want to put boots on the ground the way Black Voters Matter would or Stacey Abrams' group would is because the Democratic Party would skew more black and brown, more poor, more disenfranchised. And if you're a white liberal, you can't relate to none of those people. Mm-hmm. I think the white liberals want people in the party who look more like them, and they don't really care about who the actual base of the Democratic Party is. And one of the reasons 90 million people stayed at home in the last election was nobody really explained to them, those 90 million who stayed home, why this election really mattered. So we've got that philosophical divide in the Democratic Party. Who's going to run this party and who is the party? Are we trying to get some Republicans who ain't going to come over to our side of the fence? Or are we going to go after the people that we can't necessarily relate to, but are best represented by the principles of this party? So, and the last thing I wanted to say was that music you played at 2745 was a bop. Who was that? I started to leave a separate message, but that ain't what we. All right, have a good one. I can't wait till Saturday because I like hearing my voice on the air.
Ha! I don't remember the exact song at that time.
You normally most of the time,
and that's been a couple of weeks. It's been over like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'll try to keep remembering to say the artist. That's my fault. But yeah, I agree with everything you brought up, man. I don't know what you do with it, because I think this is where, you know, for a lot of us, when we talk about how like the racism isn't simply a thing of the conservative party, it's not simply a thing of like these caricatures of like KKK white Klansmen and Tiki Torch. Some stuff is just like people feeling uncomfortable. It's that liberal racism of who gets to be in the room and respectability of his own type and stuff like that. And you know, it's I remember once listening to Neil Brennan's podcast, forget what it used to be called, but he used to do one with this Bianca, who's like a black woman, but she's also like I don't think she's Black American or something. So there's like certain cultural things that, you know, and it's hard doing her job. I mean, you represent all black people talking to a white man about issues and shit. Anyway, Neil Brennan once had a whole thing where they were talking about Democrats and Bernie and all this shit. And he kept bringing up identity politics. And Neil Brennan wrote for Chappelle. Like, I'm not saying he's a guy who gets it, because I know he's obviously had a lot of people that don't fuck with Neil Brennan on racial issues. But that's a guy who's about as allied, quote unquote, as you think your average median white progressive-ish liberal type person is. And even that person's trying to tell me, oh, you gotta stop talking about identity politics, talk about the economy. And I think I did a whole episode where we just talked about like identity politics is the economy. They're just not white mainstream people's economy. But if you're telling me it's okay to discriminate against a trans person, they can't have a job because they're trans, how's that not their economy?
Yes, because it's impacting their money.
If you're telling a woman she has to have a baby if she gets pregnant, she has to, and if she dies, then she dies, and all. Okay, how's that not economic? Raising a child, I'm now strapped with that, or
impacting a whole ass family if she dies.
Yeah, that like now that is economy. Obviously, police killing black people, they literally monetize over policing black people as part of the city budget. That they're essentially putting a black tax on you for being black in that part of the country. Like, everything is economics, but it's like when it's our economics, it's not anymore. Now it's identity. And like I said, I get it. Somebody's gonna write in and tell me how Neil Brennan ain't never been shit to them. I'm not trying to say. I'm just gonna say Neil Brennan to me is representative of a lot of what I would consider quote unquote good white folks, meaning they gonna vote Democrat more often. Like, they're probably gonna vote Democrat.
Right.
They're probably going to side with you on things more than not, but at the end of the day, it is not their lived experience, and they're kind of incapable of perceiving it as, oh shit, oh, I see what you mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, even if I was in a room with him and somehow he listened to me and agreed with me, it was like, shit, you know what, Rod, that's a good point, I didn't even think of it that way. I feel like the second I leave that room and he's talking about politics again, it slips back into that. You've been thinking like that for more of your life. I'm not trying to single him out on some like he the worst. I'm singling him out because that's the example I remember. And like I said, I have no problems with the dude. But it's just, that is the limits. You know, Ezra Klein, there's a limit to his imagination because he can't perceive of a world outside of his own, really. It's just hard for him to do that. And as a person that is an empath, and all the positives and negatives that come with that, no one really talks about the negatives. They always talk about the fucking positives, but it's not always good. I don't, as a default, I don't necessarily enjoy it a lot.
Right.
But it has enabled me to have sometimes a bit of a superpower of being able to be like, oh, that's not my reality, but I understand enough of it to understand where you're coming from. Like, I don't need to challenge it with my own shit. I get enough of it that I'm like, yes, you have a point. I don't feel the back and forth wouldn't be helpful. And I think a lot of people don't have that tendency. It's, no, I have a point. I have a thing to say. So anyway, all right, I think we got one last one.
Okay.
Hey, what the fuck's going on, Rod and Karen? It's KC Stork here. Been a hot minute since
KC Stork.
Yeah,
I've
been a
on
while.
the outside listening to you niggas. Yeah, the big reason why I called is because I think the episode is you guys talking leave Kamala alone.
That's it.
Butcher that lady's name, but leave the former vice president alone. Yeah, man, I think a lot of what you said was correct. I think a lot of it's just straight up just they some hoes, disrespectful, and they scared to go with Trump. You know, and yeah, I think that's the big thing. And then also, like a child who you tell that the stove is hot, and they still go ahead and touch that stove, and now they mad at you because you didn't stop them from touching the fucking stove, but you told them it was hot. I think it's a lot of that too. They mad because she said this was going to happen.
Yes,
now
she did.
Now to the other part. Yeah, you motherfuckers was talking about I didn't say you motherfuckers, but Karen, I think you was talking about racist roads, and for some reason, the song "Country Roads" is now stuck in my head as "Racist Roads." I never really liked the song, but it kind of made me want to, write down a little ditty. And sing it, here it goes. Racist roads, take me home to the place no niggas belong. This country for the white man. Racist roads, take me home.
Oh no!
So now, hopefully that's out of my head because it's been in my head for the last.
Oh my god!
But anyway, man, thank you guys for doing the podcast. Y'all stay up. KC Stork out.
Oh man, I think we got an episode title: "Racist Roads." That's pretty good. Yeah, between that song and that "This Is Our Country," I'm like, what are y'all trying to say? What the fuck is happening? But yeah, thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, man, it's, sometimes I struggle with it because I don't want to be dismissive of people. Once again, this is where like I said, all the empath shit not good. People act like it's just a good, I'm an empath, guys, and so that means, I'm telling y'all, it fucking sucks sometimes. Cause like, sometimes I have instincts like, yo, these people that are harassing Kamala Harris kind of seem like some assholes. But I'm like, no, maybe and to think about it, and a genocide is happening, and this is how they. And then I see them doing the shit now. It's like, I shouldn't have been so fucking empathetic to those people. Apparently, they are assholes. They actually don't have a good point. And whatever is happening to them, they're just making shit worse. And there's never going to be a point where that group is correct. They were wrong. Agreed. And they are entitled, and they just saw some reason to attack this woman and decided to do it. And it's fucking stupid. And it's going to kneecap us later on, because if she runs again, and this albatross is somehow still out there pretending that she's unpopular when she got that many votes, when she brought out that many volunteers, when they raised that much money, and they only had 107 days to do so. If she wins a primary again, which will prove she's still more popular than the other contenders, we will still come back to this. But what about the people in the fuck that? You know what I mean? Right. So, but yeah, it took me, some of y'all got there a year ago, the first time you saw these motherfuckers. It took me till October 2025 before I was like, oh yeah, I guess fuck them. So yeah, it's not all good, but yeah, appreciate you, brother. That was funny. All right, last thing is emails. That one was Ariel by Infrared Crypto. Linda writes in, local politics to Rod and Karen. I totally feel you about folks getting all up in a tizzy about the mayor of New York. Mom Donnie seems great and all, but I'm not spending any time or energy on a race that won't affect me. I'm spending a ton of time and energy on local politics around me, though, and it's making me feel much more in control of everything. For example, a lot of people in my community recently convinced our city council to pause installation of a surveillance system that managed by a company that has a contract with Homeland Security and Border Patrol. This isn't covered by anything besides some of our local papers and blogs, to be honest. I don't think most people who live here know anything about it, but enough of us did and are involved. That is making a difference. Feels good, makes living through all this much easier to manage. That's a great point. Yeah.
Because like I say, politics matters, the levels matter, and who's on your city council will direct you more instantly in the decisions that they make than the president of the United States.
Yeah, and honestly, like we on our pregame show, we often talk local politics, and I think a lot of people be surprised how much we know about our local politics, and it's not from like feet on the ground, going to meetings and shit. A lot of this is just, I read my paper, follow some of them on socials, stuff like that, listen to Charlotte Talks. Like, you gotta, and the thing that's interesting is that your local stuff is affected by your federal stuff, and if you followed your local stuff, a lot more people, if they were real, because most of them be lying when they're like, listen, locally I vote Democrats, but fuck the federal, I don't care who's president. You know they're lying, because all of us who follow local politics are like, I don't like when the president is the opposite of what I want happening in my local politics, because they keep fucking undercutting it. Yes! But if you're lying and it's all theory to you, and you're just on Twitter or TikTok or some shit just talking, you say dumb shit like, I ain't support I vote locally, but federally, you're a fucking idiot and you're a liar. Or you're either an idiot or you're a liar. Probably both. All right. I'm pretty sure I'm preaching to the choir about the importance of local and state level politics, but I was wondering, do y'all have elections coming up in Charlotte that you're following? Yeah, so it's a behind our paywall pregame. We talk about this stuff a lot.
With Justin.
Yeah, with Justin, who's also very politically active as far as like information and stuff. But yeah, we do. We just voted in our primary maybe a month ago. We have early voting for our elections coming up in. So it's open now, but it's weird, the rules here. Our local place where we like to go vote is going to be open next week, and we'll go early vote next week because we prefer early voting rather than voting in the day of. And yeah, so we absolutely do. What's going on over there? Are folks fighting against federal fuckery at the local level? There are a lot of your local and state governments kind of fucked up. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, man, that's too long, really. But the short version of it is Charlotte, North Carolina is the focal point of a lot of the same things that are actually being rolled out in Chicago and New York and LA.
We are a targeted city.
They would like to put federal troops on the ground here. And it is going to be very harrowing because we had I think she was an immigrant white lady killed by a person experiencing a mental health episode on the train, and then white people glommed onto it that are conservative, outraged people, and were like, "Oh, look at this crime in Charlotte! They are killing. These blacks are just killing our young white girls." Okay, so now they politicize her death. We have a Republican majority, I think even super majority in our like congressional makeup in our state. So they are passing laws that can't even really be vetoed by the governor. He can veto it once and then they can get the votes together and pass it.
Right.
And they just passed Irina's law, which is undoing a lot of the stuff we talk about on the show where people say stuff like, I want cashless bail. Okay. But does the community had a wherewithal that when one of these sensationalistic crimes happen, that they don't turn into a bunch of fucking NIMBYs, right? A bunch of not in my backyards, a lot of, hey, I was for this, but I didn't think it would be like this. And so now we're watching those people kind of fold. There are people going to meetings and standing up to be like, don't capitulate to these Republicans and Trump. But once again, this state kind of lost that when Republicans took the majority. Another thing that's very scary is that we may be about to have our votes redistricted, meaning they want to do what Texas is doing. They want to turn the state into, it's almost impossible for Democrats to win enough seats.
Right.
We live in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's almost, I don't think there's a possible way for them to make us a Republican city. Or even Mecklenburg County, possibly. I don't know. Maybe Mecklenburg County is easier, but I just know that we kind of exist in a privileged bubble with living in this city. But as you've seen in Chicago, as you've seen in LA, New York, it doesn't really mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
Like, we can feel privileged and then we can look up and there's fucking National Guardsmen on our streets holding guns and shit, making us feel less safe. So those are our local politics. And I said I wouldn't go long, but I did. Karen?
Yeah, and it's also, one of those things where we talk about voting matters and all these things, like it really does. And it's also, one of the things, like Roger said, particularly having the privilege of living in Charlotte. Charlotte has always been a vocal point. People in Raleigh, which is our capital, they can't stand Charlotte because we're literally the city that was like, hey, go to the bathroom you want, and then woke up like 3 days later because they decided to vote in the middle of the fucking night at 3 a.m. and decided to pass a fucked up ass law, and then had a lot of businesses pull out because they was like, we're not building our plants there and bringing people from all over the country here for y'all to fucking discriminate with them. Like, they lost a lot of money.
Right.
Making that decision. And what's so fucked up is, like, I live here, and when that happened, so many people was like, well, what's wrong with y'all? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, bitch, you don't pay attention. I was fucking asleep. I woke up and found out, just like the fuck you did, they did not do it the right way. How could we control something that they decided to do overnight? But because people find this thing, but they want to consistently shit on the South, like the South is the only fucked up part of this country. It's all fucked up. And people will soon see how fucked up it is across this country. And like I said before, how people thought that they were safe until these Republicans come out of these these counties that's way out in the middle of Timbuktu nowhere, a county you ain't even heard of in your own fucking state, that's majority white, that's out there was where the Klan country was, because you don't know the history of your state, you don't know, and they're gonna roar, and they're coming because Trump has told them it's okay, it's all right, you can do this and you will not be punished, I will pardon you. He has told them that hate crimes and all this shit is about to go up. It's been going up, but it's about to go up in places where people quote unquote thought they were safe, where people quote unquote thought their votes didn't matter, where people quote unquote thought it wasn't that important to be involved in your local elections. And it's not going to be until shit is fucking taken away, stripped away, you have no rights, that these motherfuckers gonna start complaining. But your rights are fucking gone now. Now you have to waste your time to fight for shit when you need to fight when you got it, and say, motherfucker, you will not take this out my hands. But we had to wait for you had to wait for all your shit to be gone before you were like, well, goddamn. And I'm looking like, well, you actually didn't have to lose your shit if you were more involved.
Algorithm, Crystal says, I feel like I'm on a feedback streak, LOL. I've listened to you all for 8 close to 9 years. When I moved to a new state where I knew nobody, I had an hour-long commute to work each day, I decided to try podcast. Your episode where you all were discussing, I think, a documentary about the real reason for the Vietnam War. It was a discussion of a documentary, and it was either World War II or Vietnam, probably Vietnam. I think that's what it was about. We're so poignant, nuanced, and such a breath of fresh air. Rod and Karen, you two were both smart, funny, and entertaining, which is literally such a rarity. It's typically either smart but boring, funny but not insightful, or entertaining but not informative, and you all are the full package. Thank you. That's very nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that that's out the way, LOL, I was thinking about you all discussing how the algorithm shows one person something and the next person something else, so you both are living in a siloed existence. So I'm probably one of the few black Swifties. My daughter is a huge Taylor Swift fan. She loves Beyonce too, and her family and friends try to argue. Beyonce is better. This 11-year-old held her own in the argument and made several points why these two amazing artists are both amazing. Yeah, that's what's crazy is stan culture kind of took over because it didn't need to always be who was better as much as like I enjoy both of these people, and at some point it definitely turned into like there can only be one.
Right.
And I think it has infiltrated people. I don't think people mentally are strong enough to hold two things at once. It seems like people have folded. I think if you looked up a lot of people's Spotify playlists, you'd see like where they would like stop listening to say Rihanna because you had to pick Rihanna over Beyonce, or I don't listen to Beyonce because I was like, no, they didn't make you pick those. Mm-mm. That was just y'all on the internet fighting. Mm-hmm. You know, I was on a podcast, MC University recently, and we were recapping Peacemaker, and my man Tej was going back and forth online talking about how he was arguing with people that like Gen V about how this season has sucked for Gen V, and they want Peacemaker to suck so they can have a win. And I was like, oh, you still talk to people on the internet about this shit? I don't talk to nobody.
I do not.
Fuck all that. I'm getting enjoyment out of
my own personal opinion about it. Either I like it or I don't.
I can't be watching shit. I don't have time to watch shit with my arms folded. Either I'm always hoping to enjoy it, and if I'm not enjoying it, I'm actually just having a bad time. Like,
and I'll stop watching.
Of course, since we went to see Ray Tay or Tay in concert, we had to see Beyonce too. I didn't want my black card revoked permanently, LOL. See? Anyways, we also went to the album release movie and she loved it. Has been listening to this album on repeat. Every single person I know who listened loved the album. But I'm also part of an online Swiftie Facebook groups, and these women have bought every variation of the album, LOL. So color me shocked as my timeline is flooded with news articles and publications saying how the album is a flop. And Swifties are disappointed and think this is her worst album, and they think it's boring. When I literally heard not one person who's actually a fan utter those words. I immediately thought of your commentary how the algorithm feeds us Discord. And also it incentivizes people to make that content. So like if I see what's going viral is shitting on Taylor Swift, and I'm just sitting around making videos hoping to go viral, guess what I'm going to do? Shit on Taylor Swift, whether I heard the shit or not. You know, that's another thing that I a lot of times scroll right past people because there's a thing that happens where you can tell somebody is just commenting on something because it's trending.
Yes.
Like it's not their expertise, it's not their lane. They actually don't really need to have any thoughts on the shit, but it's like it turns the algorithm just turns you into a fucking sellout. It just does. It does. If you want to be at the top, it uses it against you. It turns you into a fucking sellout. We make a podcast almost every day. There are so many things we've never covered on this show. And it's not that we can't cover them. If anything, it probably hurts us that we don't cover it.
Agreed.
This week, we should have probably played Joe Budden's podcast with Mark Lamont Hill fighting Flip or Ish. I don't know all the guys' names because I don't watch that show. But, I mean, right? Like, we should have played the clip and been like, oh, man, this is what happens when... And I do have thoughts about it. But at the same time, I was like, if I don't really listen to this show, is this my lane?
Right.
Just because every other Black podcast is going to cover it, is this even really necessary for me and Karen to cover it? In a way that's not really authentic to what we would want to talk about anyway.
Agreed.
So, yeah, and that's a decision. And sometimes I'm sure I make the opposite decision where I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I have to talk about this. But yeah, I just feel like it always feeds this idea of like, we must discuss the thing. And I think this Taylor Swift thing is a big one for me because I'm not even on there like that. And you just see people inundated, like my feed is inundated with videos or whatever of like, let me tell you this from Taylor Swift. I'm like, you're not a Swiftie. You're not.
That like, shit done with platinum multiple times.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm okay not caring. It's weird that you do.
Yes, I'm okay with not caring. Enjoy it.
Yeah. It's weird that you don't care, but then you need to care or need to pretend to care to get this viral takeoff. And obviously they would take that offensive if you said that personally to their face probably, but that's what's happening. And it's what the algorithm, it's not the social media apps incentivize us to do.
Yes, and like I said, because I'm not built like that, I understand people are like this on a lot of things, but I can't function like that. If I don't like it, I won't consume it. I don't want it around me. The motherfucker don't exist. I don't like it. Why am I here? Why am I in the midst of it? Well, it's something about it that I like, love, or enjoy. Yeah. So stop lying to me.
But that's the thing. What some of them enjoy is not necessarily Taylor Swift, but it's the commentary.
True.
So they enjoy, that. Once again, sometimes I do feel very cynical because I think in this way we are so fucked. Because I don't think there's a way to unfuck it. And some people I love and respect are caught up in this shit. Like, and I'm sure sometimes I'm in it and when I'm in it, I'm sure I don't realize it.
Right.
I think a lot of stuff is just stuff that I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but the importance of it is overstated because it's what goes viral, and what goes viral feels more important than reality sometimes.
It does.
Is this important, or is this just like a trend that will pass? And part of it, knowing we are in a online environment that is a social experiment that is happening to our brains constantly, I don't know how you can ever feel so certain about anything when it comes to like, is this me or is this like an algorithm telling me this is me? Do I care about this or do I see this 12 times every time I log in? And so now it feels like I should care about this, but I don't really care about this.
Right. And I had to learn that about myself and it's an internal thing, which a lot of people, it's very hard to do because then, things got to change and our human beings don't like change. And so it's just one of those things where I had to learn, hey, is this that important? Do I really care? No. Well, then why am I mad and angry or upset or depressed or whatever, pouring my energy into something that at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit about.
But let's see. And of course you're in the algorithm too, because if you're in a group of fans and y'all are the real Swifties, y'all aren't like on the Reddit that's like Travis and Taylor. Because if you go to the Reddit, almost every Reddit is built of people that don't like the thing that the Reddit's about. So when you go to Reddit, if you go to like Reddit, Xbox Game Pass, I would say 97% of it is just complaints and has been for the whole time, not just recently. It has always been complaints. If you go to the Reddit for PlayStation, it's a complaint. So you know what I mean? It's a lot of complaining. So if you found an online space where y'all are like, we buy tickets, we actually go out, we meet up, we like this thing,
we enjoy it.
I would say more than likely you're going to be surrounded by people that are enjoying it because they're not getting fed from not enjoying, right? So there's no incentive for them to come to y'all's group and be like, I actually hate this album and fuck this bitch. That wouldn't make sense for them. So I think you're probably in you're in the opposite information silo, which, hey man, if you're happy in your algorithm, that's beautiful.
Ain't it though?
You can tame that bitch the way you want it, man. That's a sweet spot. I miss those days. I understand this, and these articles are false, but for the uninformed, will think the album sucks and everyone hates it despite it breaking records, occupying the top 10 for every track. And they hope by polluting the commentary that people will take that and run with it. It's actually insane to see this in real time. It's the bigger pictures, the mental distress is meant to cause, and the snowball effect. Yeah. And that's before you get to the bots.
Yeah, they find this and actually blow it up.
Because a lot of this interaction isn't even real, and bots they are not just out here to be like, oh, we would like to cause political discord. They are latching on to anything. God, now I'm already forgetting. Oh, Cracker Barrel. We just talked about how Cracker Barrel was a lot of bots in the beginning. To get it off the ground.
And then initially rolled over into real people.
It's a social experiment, but they're seeing that they can control us. And you think that's not happening with Taylor Swift? You have to be crazy not to think it. But that's the thing. Our hubris is so strong. No one can convince us that we haven't always cared about and hated Taylor Swift. No one can convince you when you so algorithmed out. You don't think you woke up today and were led down a path that would go, oh, I hate this bitch. And I've been watching videos about how everyone hates this bitch. No one likes this bitch. We all have always hated this bitch.
Yeah, as somebody that's has been caught up in algorithms before, and being around people and just allowing this collection of things to impact you. It's funny, nobody is immune to it, but everybody thinks they're immune to it. And you tell people nobody's been tricked, when at some period of time everybody has been tricked one way or another. So it's really almost like you say, it's a no-win situation, because it's very hard to navigate that unless you're very adamant about, I'm calling this, I'm controlling this, like using all the tools that you have and things like that. And a lot of times it doing that and pulling away from the social media app itself a lot of times causes a lot less stress in people's life, particularly if these things are impacting you in a negative way.
Kiana says, hey y'all, happy Saturday. I was replaying the feedback show from October 4th. I'm listening to the part where y'all talked about how support for the Democratic Party from Black women may begin to wane because of the 2025 election results. And Karen specifically mentioned financial donations. That was already spot on, because we are tired of the American public playing in our faces. But over 250,000 of us lost our good government jobs. The last number I heard was 310,000, meaning many of us don't have the means to support at the same level, even if we wanted to.
I agree.
The cost of literally everything is going up, and a lot of Black families are seriously struggling right now. I get emails from the DNC almost daily, and if I am being honest, I ain't got the $5. My monthly grocery expenses alone have gone up by almost $200. Yeah, especially if you have a family. And I know, look, groceries have gone up, because I know there'll be times where I stop in to be like, oh, let me just grab a few things, and you get to the end and be like $85. Like, what?
Yes, and you be like, I ain't got shit.
What did I get? This was not this much a few months ago. And yes, and then honestly, as a Black creative that makes money off of the fact that Black people like what we talk about and want to support us, or they feel like I'm being fed, or they just value what we do and they're like, yo, I'm gonna sign up. Y'all, I'm not joking, man. We have seen a reduction. People are having to cancel. People are not, they're hey man, I have to stop. And I mean, obviously there's no animosity about it. The government shut down. There's jobs lost. Like, people are struggling now, and we can see it. Is what I'm saying. Yes. It means a lot to us when people do contribute financially, when they donate, when they subscribe, when they do whatever, they buy merch and all that. It means something to us, because literally we see every dollar of that. And yeah, and shit, of course, costs money to have all this stuff. So when Black people are hurting, we are experiencing that hurt as a podcast, as a business. And I'm sure that goes for every Black person that does business mainly in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, and if they can't afford to listen to their favorite podcast, and yes, I'm assuming we're their faves, but if they can't afford to keep listening to the premium stuff from their favorite podcast, my guess is they're not giving $50 to the DNC right now. Which brings me to our next point. Where is Bernie? Aren't those Black women who lost their jobs part of the working class?
Right.
Maybe I've curated my algorithm to point that Vermont Jones just doesn't show up anymore, but I ain't heard a single solitary word from that man or his mouth breathing supporters about how we are impacted by the BS. It's almost like he doesn't consider us part of the working class, or one of those things that makes you go,
Not until he runs again. He doesn't.
I'm gonna be real. I ain't even keeping up with Bernie that much. I would guess he ain't talked about it in any specific racialized way, because I just don't think he ever would.
Nope.
He may have talked about people losing their jobs in the government. I could see him doing that. He may have talked about these government spending cuts and said that these are fucked up. I could see him doing that, but I don't know. The message I've mostly seen him at AOC getting out is Democrats need to fight, you know, and that's mostly because I've decided to not engage with a lot of Bernie content. So maybe he's saying something different than he used to say, but I don't see how he would.
Right.
And I think he's mostly just like anger and rage at all sides, and it's all the you know, and so hey, you know, if that gets people out, more power to them, you know. I hope they at the No Kings March. I don't care if you got the Bernie hat on. I'm so checked out of. I don't give a fuck about being mad about that dude. I don't find any.
Not anymore.
I don't find any. Yeah, I don't find anything fruitful coming out of the Bernie situation right now.
And I just don't care.
Yeah, if he finds a way to motivate some people, fine. But we'll see if that has any staying power. Because at the end of the day, when it comes time for running for president, if he's a serious contender again, he's an old ass man still, and let's see how everybody feels about him, and if he's perfect enough for these people to get out and actually go vote for him. And if the anti-Semitism that party is engaging in, where they have Nazi swastikas on their American flags,
right?
If it's gonna be a bit of an issue that he's Jewish and running to be president,
right?
Will it now be an issue? Will all these people who are saying fuck Kamala, fuck Joe Biden, it's a genocide, will they look aside from Bernie being Jewish and go, yeah, he's going to stand up against Israel? Will they, like, let's just be real. Let's take it beyond theory and get into what's going to look like. That's a lot of questions to be answered. People feel way different about Jewish people in Israel on the left, and especially the extreme left, than they did even 2 years ago.
Yes, they do.
So I don't even know that he would win. Who knows? Good luck to him, though, and everyone else trying to make a difference. She also said Mitt Romney is a perfect example of the way the white men will always put in the work to find the virtues of other white men, even if it requires pulling out a microscope to do it. Saying that President Biden should have preemptively pardoned Donald Trump in the wake of all that is currently happening is crazy work. And we see it for what it is. It was supposed to help engender goodwill towards a political tyrant. And it brings me back to listening to Ta-Nehisi Coates and Ezra Klein. Klein wants to engender goodwill towards those who not only support the tyrant, but also aspire to tyranny themselves. It's so exhausting and cowardly. Trump is a man whose ego can never be satiated. No amount of bootlicking will ever be enough. No amount of capitulation will ever be enough. And if there was ever any doubt about it, look at all the people who had their lives destroyed in his first presidential term. The MyPillow guy is going bankrupt. Alex Jones has successfully been sued down to his drawers. Same for Rudy Giuliani. Herman Cain died, and dozens of other people are and were in prison in pursuit of an unattainable goal of having their loyalty to Trump reciprocated. Dog, I'll give you a current one. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk got killed. At his memorial, or I guess he was maybe given the Medal of Freedom or some sort of thing, Donald Trump talked about how they tried to shoot him, but he just moved at the right time. And it was like a flex, like, not like Charlie, they ain't get me. Okay, they said, hey, I said, ooh, not me. Nice try, bullets. Anyway.
I had a memorial service.
Anyway, you know, not everybody can be as fast as your boy Trump, but
anyway, how about that ballroom?
Yeah. So yeah, even him, there's no you can't, like you said, can't be satiated. He never mentions these people. He doesn't even think about them because he feels entitled to their loyalty. Mick could have kept that to himself. It has improved no one's life and only proved the party of law and order doesn't give a fuck about law or order. Love y'all, Kiana. Yes,
thank you.
You summed it up perfectly. That's exactly how I felt. What a coward. All right, y'all. That's it. Thank you for listening. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Good night. Peace.